Welcome everyone to the Little Ukraine here in New York City. This is the East Village, and this is a series of blocks that the Ukrainian community has been in for many decades. For example, we just came out of Veselka, if you want to see the food of one of the most iconic Ukrainian restaurants in all of New York City, Veselka. Check out the previous broadcast. After this one, I have a beef stroganoff, some beer, and some beet horseradish salad. It was really good. And now, in order to burn off those calories, let's wander around Little Ukraine. The population of the Ukraine numbers in the tens of thousands, and about a third of the population still lives within the confines of the East Village neighborhood. So there are a few great restaurants here, Veselka being one of the more famous ones, but I'm going to point out the other ones that you could visit if you wanted to, and other Ukrainian businesses, and then let's see if we see any indications of Ukrainian heritage and culture here as we stroll around. We're going to keep our eyes wide open. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist, and let me know where you're watching from. Across the street is the meat market, and the business associated with the Ukrainian community. Meat market J. Bagzinski, I think it might be pronounced. I actually visited this on a tour that I did of Little Ukraine with an amazing tour guide a few years ago. It's a cool meat market, some unique Ukrainian products. And here's another one. This is the Ukrainian National Home. So this seems to be an entire Ukrainian center. But inside there is the Ukrainian East Village restaurant, which I actually have never tried. It's hidden inside here. And here's the menu. If you're tuning in right now on YouTube, slam that like button. On Facebook, share this video with relevant Facebook groups about New York City, about Ukraine in this instance, about East Village, about travel. Ooh, homemade apple strudel. Oh my God. I actually really love homemade apple strudel. Homemade compote. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna peek in, just so I can show you. Great. I've actually never been in here. It's not as full as Veselka. Like, people do know about this. It's well known. I might come back to have an apple strudel. They're playing some popular music. Ooh, and there's bathrooms here. That's nice. Susie says, I want strudel. Me too, actually. 2-paw strudel. Well, let's continue walking around. Oh, here's a bulletin. Keep Ukraine free. DS says, ooh, I like the reflection of this. The Ukrainian flag is right in front of me. There we go. DS says, what is up? I thought the last broadcast was it. DS, luckily I have no boss, so I can literally do how many videos I want to, how many videos I feel like it. And right now I feel like walking, so that's why I'm going live. Yep, DS, you heard that right. I am actually the boss of Urbanist. Sometimes people see my video for some type of publication company called Urbanist. No, this is my show. Is it cold? Yes, it's cold today, yeah. Susie says Ariel's very unpredictable. I'm going back on the schedule on April 1st. Stay tuned at 4 p.m. New York City time. entire month of April, Thursdays through Sundays, 4 p.m. New York City time. Regardless of where I am in terms of time zone, I'll be 4 p.m. New York City time. Deborah says, millions of Americans support Ukraine. Glad to see a Ukrainian enclave. Yeah, so this is one of the larger ones, along with the one in Chicago as well. And there's a few. So we're going to encounter a Ukrainian... There's the Ukrainian Museum, which should be this way. Should be this way, Ukrainian Museum. Let me go to the Ukrainian Museum, just in case if it's open. Maybe we can stroll in, if they don't mind the camera. Irene says, don't forget the Ukrainian Museum. Oh, exactly, yeah. Well, we're gonna see if we can go in. Rebel says, I ate at Dallas Barbecue yesterday. Yeah, Dallas Barbecue is awesome. Of course, we're talking about Little Ukraine today, but in general, if you're looking for classic American food, especially if you're a foreigner and never had American food, Dallas Barbecue is one of the better restaurants. I recommend in Times Square because it's more of an experience. It's really packed all the time, but it's so gigantic you'll find a seat immediately. So here's St. Mark's Place. Maybe we'll pass by it later. That is a cool motorized scooter. No, electric. The Ukrainian consulate might be around here, says Susie. Ooh, I think the Ukrainian consulate is in Uptown Manhattan in the Upper East Side. Dia says, how does Dallas barbecue compare to barbecue in Texas? I never been to Texas, Dia, so I wouldn't know. Dallas barbecue might not be the highest quality barbecue you can find in New York. There's a few other places that are higher quality, but in terms of experience, I think it's awesome. So we're seeing a lot of Ukrainian flags, but it's interesting. We're seeing these Ukrainian flags on these iconic Jewish restaurants as well. Like B&H, not to be confused with the photo video store. Kay says, talking of museums, I must go to the Museum of Moving Image on my next visit. That's awesome, Kay. I featured the Museum of Moving Image recently. Oleg says, oh no. Oop. Highlighted the wrong comment. There we go. Oleg says, unfortunately, the air raid warning happened. My wife and I follow the rule of 2 walls. We hide in our hallway. Oh no, Oleg, is it happening right now? Please be safe. Oh no, that sucks. So be safe. I'm glad that there is some type of protocol with hiding between 2 walls. It just really sucks, to be honest, that you even have to do this, especially nowadays. I mean, there's never an excuse for war, and it's just obscene that this is happening. But be safe, everyone. Send your best wishes to Oleg. He's going through an air raid warning right now. Here's a church, unfortunately, that burned down. And we got Oleg on Facebook tuning in as well. Oleg O and Oleg Z. Thank you so much. For the Olegs and the Ukrainians, if you want me to cover anything, do let me know. I'll do my best to show it here in Little Ukraine. I'm not sure if this place is Ukrainian right over here. It's a little beer hall that you're only supposed to be very quiet inside. It's called Burp Castle, ironically. And they follow the tradition of monasteries where they brew beer. And you have to be completely silent inside. It's operated by Brewist monks, it says. I love that. Brewist monks. Since 1022. Interesting. The Temple of Beer Worship. And apparently it opens at 5 p.m. Okay, 5 p.m. Someone shushes you if you attempt to talk. Lorraine says you have a caring heart. Well, my pleasure, Lorraine. I'm glad we can share the good vibes here on Urbanist. I don't cover current events nor news or politics or anything like that because my show is about entertainment. But entertainment is very important to people who are equally going through hardship and people who are luckily in a good position. Entertainment helps in a myriad of situations. More messages here. Do let me know. What does this mean? What borough has the largest Ukrainian population? Great question, DS. So, the Ukrainian population should be between 60,000 and 80,000 people in New York City. A third of them, apparently, from what I read from a few sources, are still located within this neighborhood of East Village. So there should be about 20,000 people still here in this neighborhood alone. I think New York should be the largest population, but maybe Chicago might exceed that. If anyone can find out any census data, we would be so grateful. Irene recommends another restaurant try is Stricha. Great pierogies there. Oh, that's awesome, Irene. And I think anyone have any issues with beef stroganoff? They had these huge pieces of parsley. And you ever bit into parsley too big and it gives you gas? Kind of sucks. I have it right now. Great food, but they left the parsley too big inside the inside the dish. Too much information, but I gotta just share if I sound a little bit winded. Just so you know, I ate 2 big slices of parsley. Irene says you passed it downstairs with the plaque and the flag. Okay, thank you so much for a recommendation. So Irene is coming, another fellow Ukrainian. Thank you so much for the recommendation. I kept looking for this restaurant, not finding it. It says Rebel. Oh no, Rebel. Ted says, think in Ringo Park, Kew Gardens and Forest Hills has Ukrainian restaurants. Ooh. Lynn says, parsley is supposed to help you with the digestion. Fortunately, isn't doing that right now. Ted says it's actually 150,000 Ukrainians. Ooh, Ted, do let us know where you found that number. So let's see if this is open. This is one of the major Ukrainian churches right over here. St. George's Church. Right behind one of the most exclusive universities in all of the US, Cooper Union. Beautiful church. People stopping to see the signs. They're up. Once they move past, we'll get closer. Let me show you over here. Beautiful mosaic work. Thomas says, how's my new iPhone? My new iPhone is doing well. I'm so glad to have a lot more space now for videos. Hey Lynn, nice to see you here. Welcome, Lynn. Hey Glenn from Sheffield. Ooh. glad we have some Sheffielders tuning in. St. George Ukrainian Catholic Church. The Ukrainian urbanists, let me know. Does Ukraine have a significant Catholic population? Is that within the Holy See? I assume so, because it has the word Catholic in it. But I assume there's a bigger Orthodox population there.
You know where to drop off the stuff?
Oh, I don't know. For the donation collection, let's see where it says. They should have either a box up here, or maybe in the parking lot. No, unfortunately, I don't see anything. They might collect on a specific day.
No, it's every day from 7 to 7 here.
Maybe around the corner over here as well. Maybe there's like a box. All right, we'll see. It's closed. Someone was asking me about a drive where they're collecting things. Irene says, yes, it's Eastern Rite, follows the Pope, but keeps a lot of Orthodox traditions. Ah, I see. Thank you so much, Irene. Oleg says, Catholics mostly live in Western Ukraine. I see.
What does it say there?
No, just it's written in Ukrainian, so don't know. Unfortunately, and the church is closed. Oh, watch out. Yeah, there's a drive, a collection for, it seems, different items for people in need. I assume some refugees might have made it over here, which I hope they're safe and they're given a warm welcome for any refugees here in the US. I know some have gone to the UK. So my best wishes. Here's a little shrine, not shrine, how would you call this? What's the right name for this? Janet says, Ukraine looked like such a beautiful place pre-war. I wish I visited. I did see St. Petersburg, though. Yeah, I think a lot of people have slept on Ukraine in terms of its beauty, in terms of travel, myself included. I never really thought of going to Ukraine. I've always heard negative things, unfortunately. Of course, every country, especially if countries are not so popular, tend to have negative press here in the US, which is always a downside. But there's one great vlogger, her name is Alina McLeod, I think if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. Alina McLeod, who is Ukrainian descent, but is Canadian. She has covered significantly Kiev and other Ukrainian cities via live video. So if you enjoy my videos, you'll probably enjoy hers as well. And when I saw her live videos, I was really astonished by how beautiful Kiev looks like, along with the other Ukrainian cities. It really made me intrigued to visit myself, especially considering that they have cool public transportation, which is awesome to see. So here's McSorley's. McSorley's open. That's our Irish pub. There's no donation box. Yeah, the woman was looking for a donation box, but no donation box here to be seen. I'm not sure why the church is always closed. I'm always bummed that this church is closed, especially for a Catholic church. It's kind of sad that they close it all the time. I don't think I've ever walked in. Stephanie says, I visited Ukraine. I was in Ukraine 3 times for a mission trips. Stephanie, let me know what type of mission was it. Beautiful country and beautiful, friendly people. Have some friends over there. Oh, that's great. Irene says, Kiev is beautiful in so many areas in the Ukraine. Well, that's wonderful to hear. So here is the Catholic school, St. George's Catholic School, LaSalle Academy.
Dumplings? Yeah.
I assume school's in session today. Ah, here's the Ukrainian museum and it's closed. Why? I am bummed because I've been trying so, like, every time I pass by the Ukrainian museum, it's closed. And I get it that one should look at the hours. But, you know, sometimes when it comes to a museum, you kind of just want to stroll in. And the Ukrainian museum is always closed when I pass by it. I hope they have the staff to open it at some point. Hey, Christine says, I'm half second generation Ukrainian American. Our dad used to take us here to church sometime. Also buying Ukrainian Eastern food. Then I visit as an adult. Oh, cool. Doreen says, are you anywhere near the apartment building where they took the photo for physical graffiti? I am, Doreen. So stay tuned. We might pass it. It's only a few blocks away. Thank you so much for a recommendation. Irene says, too bad. Good to hear. I do hope they extend their hours at some point. Sense. It's Tuesday, so opening hours are Wednesdays through Sundays, 11:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you're here between Wednesday and Sunday, come over to the Ukrainian Museum. Rebel says, is there a fee? I think there is, yeah. Miss Lop says, now you know there were excuses. Miss Lop, I swear I've come here during what was supposed to be opening hours and has been closed. Check out my live streams from like 2021. I was frustrated last year when I passed by and it was also closed. So yeah, I'll give it another shot. Especially considering everything that's happening. Hopefully I can go inside and show it to all of you soon. So stay tuned. Irene says they love publicity at the museum. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you so much for recommending me to reach out to them. Awesome, yeah. I think I'll do that. Friends in Ukraine is not easy now, says Oleg. Yeah, Oleg, my best wishes. All right, I think there's another Ukrainian church. Or a church used by the Ukrainian population. So let's go, about two blocks away. Oleg says, so sad the fact that Ukraine has been underestimated as a tourist destination. Yeah, and permitting that soon everything will stop and that recovery hopefully might be quick. That might change. Audrey says, oh wow, so clear signal. Yeah, 5G. Audrey. Catherine says, Veselka is a Ukrainian restaurant nearby. Yes, check out my previous broadcast. The one that I just did right before Ada Veselka. Another Ukrainian organization here, Self-Reliance. Oh, there's going to be a benefit for Ukraine with Bria Blessing. Singer-songwriter, April 3rd to 2 p.m. at Cooper Square. Aluminum, let me know what's your bar? Is the bar in the East Village? So Aluminum mentions that if I were to ever go to his bar and I would be reviewing his drinks, he would pass out. What's your bar and what type of drinks are they? Are they beer or cocktails? You let me know. So if anyone knows what Self-Reliance is, do let us know. It's a federal credit union, so apparently it's associated with, apparently it's a credit union. Rebel says a lot of people are boycotting Russian establishments, which is unfair. It's not fair to blame the Russian people. It isn't, no. I would say it is rather fair to maybe boycott certain Russian businesses owned by Russian oligarchs. Maybe that should be the case. But yeah, there's a lot of great people here of Russian and Ukrainian descent here in the U.S. And no one's to blame here in the U.S. for that, I would say. Aluminum says, it's in Wisconsin. No one comes here on purpose, says Aluminum. All right, Aluminum, stay tuned. Stay tuned, Aluminum. Random Wisconsin bar review coming up. Tom says, Salva Ukrainia. Ukraini. Glory to Ukraine. Indeed. Jenna says a lot. I can only imagine, yes. Or Western European, or many parts of Latin America. Freedom of speech and the freedom of press for granted. Luckily here on my live videos, I can almost say whatever I want. I say almost because, yes, there's still some sort of censorship on YouTube and social media, but almost, or at least I can allude to basically anything that I want to on these live videos. or any type of video, and that's something that should not be taken for granted at all. And I don't cover current events or politics, but I definitely don't take for granted that I can cover any type of history that I choose to, or any type of food, or showcase any type of culture, or any type of fun story, because I do cover mythology and sometimes conspiracy theories and legends. And it's awesome that I can cover those as well without any repercussions. So don't take that for granted, because it is a beautiful thing to have that freedom to discuss almost everything you want to discuss. Slam that like button right now. You can tune in. More Ukrainian flags. Alex says, no video stutter today. Did you tweak something? No, I'm just in a different location. I am in the East Village. It might have been that Astoria did not have the most consistent 5G antennas. That might be the case. Rebel says, this general area is still my favorite part of New York City. LES, I grew up around here. On 6th Street is where all the Indian restaurants are located. Yeah, that's true. Fila says, Predator's double masked. Indeed he was. Dude, Predators get apparently, Rebel. So that was a consignment store, meaning they sell secondhand clothes. But they had a Predator made completely out of motorcycle scrap metal. Matt says, I'm going to take a nap. See you on Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in, Matt. Appreciate that. Hey, William, Birmingham, nice to see you here. Paul says there's a Ukrainian appeal concert on live TV right now in UK for £22 million raised thus far. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Oleg says we cannot compete with Russia in the information war. Yes, it is quite unfortunate. They pour tens of millions, if not billions, of dollars into disinformation campaigns. Yeah, it's a bit sad, but luckily there's still freedom of press. Susie says, I'm officially off work now, so now I can really watch this. Dean says 5G is still not reliable, lagging from time to time. Yeah, maybe I have to switch just to 4G. So, I'm not sure if this church is Polish or Ukrainian. If anyone can let me know. I think it might be Polish. But of course, I wouldn't doubt that a Ukrainian community comes here. Saint Stanislaus. Stanislaus. Thank you, Oleg. Yep, Polish. Roman Catholic Church. And I had the opportunity to walk in here before, but I think it's closed at the moment. Hey, Patricia says, Whitestone, Queens, I miss you. Oh, Patricia, thank you so much for tuning in again. Beautiful. Beautiful artwork here. Mary is using the American Eagle symbol with the starry field. Oh, with the stars of the American flag on her cloak. Oh, that's very unique. I'm not sure. Is this a Polish symbol? Because there's a similar statue of a Polish war hero in Jersey City like this. Rebel asks, does the Gothic aesthetic come from the Polish or the Ukrainian community? Great question. So, that is an excellent question. The architecture that you're seeing here was mostly built around the 1910s. That was probably the really peak of development in the East Village. And a lot of the population here was actually Germans. So a lot of these buildings might have been built by the German immigrants that came over here and the developers as well. So Gothic, I'm not sure, they're probably using Gothic from Western Europe. So of course French and English Gothic and American Gothic, that's probably the reason why we have all those. So these churches probably did not start either Polish or Ukrainian. They probably became Polish or Ukrainian afterwards. And might have been either churches for Catholics that predate the Germans that were here, or Germans themselves, and Lutheran churches and other types of German denominations. But I'm speculating, so do your own research. Paul says that is the statue in Jersey City of that soldier, of a Polish soldier with a rifle in its back. It refers to being betrayed. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Rebel says, I'm not familiar with Eastern European architecture. Yeah, I haven't covered too much Eastern Europe, aside from Romania. But at least once you go to Greece, the architecture is very different. So I'm not sure how popular Gothic architecture is in Eastern Europe. I would speculate it's not as popular as Eastern Orthodox architecture, Byzantium architecture. Dean says, are you visiting Seattle soon? You said that you had some type of gut feeling. I will be going live second week of April from a cool city in the US. That's not New York, so stay tuned. Ooh, mochi. Mochi, which is Japanese ice cream. Miss Lob says it's Byzantine style with the golden domes. It is, yeah. Yeah, it is with the golden domes.
Yeah, that's
Courtney says good morning. Good morning, Courtney. Oleskander says Polish and Ukrainians always live together as neighbors. Oh, that's good to hear. It's funny how these outdoor areas still exist. The sheds. New York is now going through a very tough decision whether to take away these sheds or leave them be or regulate them, because you know some of them are looking a bit shabby. So what do you think? Should New York keep the sheds for these restaurants and bars, or should they take them away for free? No, don't let them pay subsidized car parking. Or should they regulate somehow, like they do regulate buildings, to regulate either the quality or the look of these sheds? Susie says there should be some regulations, but they should. You think? So I personally think they should keep them, definitely. But I think they should indeed be regulated. Maybe not too harshly, but there should at least be some standards, because we don't want sheds either looking too shabby or collapsing on people. Dave says, take them away, I want my street back. So, Dave, that's a valid point. I see where you're coming from. But if we do prioritize people who park, parking is free most of the time. And because of it's free, we're actually subsidizing people who don't live in the city to freely park wherever they want to, taking away space from restaurants. Meaning that people can come over here from other parts, not pay any of the taxes within the city, park for free, taking away space from restaurants, and just leave back to their suburbs. And that's a downside of parking, which tends to be the case in most major U.S. cities. Oleg says we share the same country with Polish and Lithuanians. Ah, interesting. Thank you for letting us know. Let's take a walk through. There's a lot of cops here. Let's take a walk through Tompkins Square Park. Alex says I'm rocking the French hitman look. You're not the first person to say that. A lot of people told me that I look like Leon the Professional from the amazing movie by Luc Besson. Great movie, actually. Well, the first role by Natalie Portman too. And yeah, indeed, I do have a similar cap and the similar glasses. Belmar also makes a fair point. Says, on the other hand, if you make it difficult to park, then people won't come in and the businesses will suffer. That, I also get why you're saying that. You would think that's the case, Belmar. So Belmar says that if you don't allow people to park, the businesses will suffer. So there has been studies in some of the biggest cities in the world, including New York, but the first people in the Netherlands, where they found out that at first the businesses in Denmark and the Netherlands thought, we can't allow our streets to be closed to traffic because then we'll lose all business. We have to allow people to continue passing with their cars and park. So they decided to test it. Some streets were closed to traffic, and some streets were open for car traffic and had parking. And what happened? The streets that had no parking only thrived. And these studies have also been conducted in New York. So generally, in cities all around the world, when you have pedestrian traffic, it's more conducive to businesses than car traffic. So parking does not equate more business, according to many studies. Here's the Hare Krishna tree. The Hare Krishna is a religious group that was popularized here in the East Village back in the 60s and 70s. And they believe that this tree was the reincarnated version of a very old, wise tree from, I think it was India. And that this is their main spot for worship. Doreen says, "Oh, the train from Long Island. Yeah, you could take the LIRR. Yeah." Susie says, "I just take an Uber. No need to park." Eugene says it's going to snow here at the end of the week, Ariel. Oh wow! You know, when I left the UK, it was sunny. It was sunny and beautiful. And look who we found, ladies and gentlemen. We found Earl the squirrel. He's gallivanting through Tompkins Square Park. And Penny and Cooper, the copper-colored pigeons. Courtney says the change from cars to pedestrians needs to be gradual. One, people don't like to change, says Courtney. Two, Courtney says people don't like being told what to do. And three, time is needed for the transition from cars to changing the layout for trams and buses. Courtney, I also get what you're saying. And of course, those are valid points. It, of course, also depends on the region. But especially in a city like New York that already has sufficient transit, it's better to rip off the Band-Aid as quickly as possible than to do a slow, arduous transition from car-centric to transit-centric. So, I think that it's more efficient to outright leave all these sheds to stay. No need to try to replace it with other types of parking. The city, that should not be the case. We should focus fully on transit. If it were up to me, if I were mayor of the city, I would straight up shut down entire avenues from car traffic, build light rail, and bed over those tracks with grass like they already do in the Netherlands, so we can have more grass in our streets and transit passing over all the time via our beautiful avenues. I would do that. G says no Ukrainian food. Last broadcast for Ukrainian food. I'm trying to see if there's any more Ukrainian things over here. Do let me know. I'm not entirely sure. Susie says you have my vote. We have Bob. CB says in big cities in the Netherlands, we have parking lots hidden in huge buildings around the station. Oh, that's nice. You know, that's okay. As long as they're not out in public taking away ground level space, I think. Marcine, thank you so much for tuning in, Marcine. Alexander says, thank you so much for supporting Ukrainians. My pleasure, and everyone. Thank you so much. So Ukrainian urbanists, or if you're a New York urbanist, let me know if there's any Ukrainian spots here. We've already seen a few signs of the Ukrainian population still here. I think once we start getting further into the Lower East Side, we're probably going to see a lot less, if any. Hey, Zap, nice to see you here. Hey, Oleg. Oh, Oleg is also going through air raid. Oh, no. Everyone, send your best wishes to both Oleg. So Oleg O also has been going through an air raid warning right now, and it's over. He could go sleep. Oh, I cannot even begin to imagine the position you're in. But Oleg, I'm glad that the air raid sirens have gone off, and that you can hopefully catch some sleep. So everyone, wish Oleg some good sleeping vibes. Hopefully you can catch some shut-eye in peace, hopefully. And Oleg says, thank you for all the communication. Special thanks to all the friends in this video from New York. My pleasure, Oleg. Victoria says, be careful, the pigeon might be a biological weapon. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. That has not happened yet. Let's see if this church, I don't think this church is Ukrainian, but let's check it out. Don't know too much about this church either. This is Charlie Parker Place, and we're now on Avenue B, which is well into the Alphabet City. I said Lower East Side before. This used to be known as Lower East Side, but people now know it mostly as Alphabet City. St. Bridget, so probably not Eastern European. Do let me know. Where is this church from? St. Bridget and St. Emmerich Church. Hey, Ariel C is tuning in. Ariel, thank you so much. We have another Ariel tuning in. Not my executive producer. Well, another one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ooh. Belmar says the church was supposed to close about 15 years ago. People banded together and some mystery benefactor stepped in to save it. Interesting. Paul says you're breaking in. Yeah, I'm using 5G, which doesn't seem to be as stable as 4G, so I might shut 5G down if I'm walking. Let me know, if anyone has seen specifically my East Village walks before, let me know. Is that one more stable than this one today? And Janice says, nice looking church. Oh yeah. Janice Much for tuning in. Janice is riding the subway. That's awesome, Janice. I'm glad you're riding the subway once again. Yeah, beautiful buildings here in this particular corner of Alphabet City. There's another church down around this way. Let's see if that one's open. Carol says this seems stable. Oh, awesome. Susie says everything appears okay with me. Kay says everything appears okay as well. Patricia says sad the churches are locked. Me too. I'm very sad that the churches are locked. East Village doesn't have a good track record with having open churches. Maureen tuning in says good afternoon, Sarah, Ariel, and everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, Maureen. Irene says I have connections at the Ukrainian Museum. Have appeared many times for book readings and can provide contacts for a visit. Irene, I would appreciate that. Do send me a direct message on Instagram, Urbanist Live, or Facebook, Urbanist Live as well, or just leave a comment with a contact. I'll be so appreciative on the comments of YouTube. Thank you so much, Irene. I appreciate that. One of the better breakfast sandwiches you can find in New York City, unfortunately it's closed today, is C&B. It's associated, it's the husband of Mary Jane from What a Shame, Mary Jane, who I collaborated with many times. He runs this place. Maureen, wow. Maureen, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. That's so kind of you. Maureen, very kind super chatter, mega urbanist. Thank you so much for the kind super chat. That's so kind of you. And stars are also worth double for the last few days here until April 1st. So on Facebook, stars are worth double. Thank you, Marianne. Kay, a few others have left stars. I appreciate all of you. We have a new stars goal. If we get to 50,000 stars, I'll be covering the best of Europe in early summer. And if we reach 200 patrons on patreon.com/urbanist, so we're about 120 away. But if we reach 200 patrons at any level, we will be going also to the best of Europe in early summer. I'll be showing you cool things in Europe, and the more contributions, the more cool things I can show you. Like we did last summer with showing you boat rides across the Venetian Lagoon, the sunsets at Santorini, all from the comfort of your own phone without any of the hassle of planning a trip, of choosing the airfare, of going on the airplane, of packing your bags, of choosing the lodging, of planning the locations and how to get there. You don't have to do any of that work. You get to do it sitting on your own phone and visit all these places. So if you enjoyed this show, feel free to become a patron. And thank you so much, Maureen, for the $19 super chat, $20 super chat. Julian says, what street is that restaurant? It's a coffee shop with breakfast sandwiches. It's a bakery. It's on 7th Street and Avenue B. 7th and Avenue B. Kay says, right, let's get those stars in. Yep. I'll travel for you so you don't have to. I know some people don't like traveling, so. You know, when I started Urbanist, especially when I started Patreon, I'll put the link over here. When I started Patreon, I was a bit ashamed of having a Patreon, because I thought to myself, why do I deserve to have people who contribute to the show? Why do I deserve to even be paid for what I do? And I learned that entertainment is valuable, regardless of the entertainment. People pay for comedians, people pay for award ceremonies, people pay for movies, people pay for TV shows, and people pay for live streams, and people pay for vlogs, and people pay for photos, and people pay for art, and people pay for museums, and pay for any type of wide range of entertainment. But the second thing is I end up realizing, oh wow, there's actually people out there who don't like to travel, who don't want to go through the hassle of traveling. Some people can't. And my heart goes out to you. I'm so glad I could provide this service for vicarious travel for you. But I realized that there's also a subset of people who can travel if they wanted to, but rather not to, for a myriad of reasons. And then I realized, oh wow, my work is actually very valuable to a wide set of people, from the people who are unable to travel for a myriad of reasons, maybe mobility issues, maybe the ability, income, the budget might not be there, inconvenience, because there's some places where it's really hard to get an airplane to anywhere. And don't take for granted if you live in New York City or Atlanta or London. Those are amazing places to connect you with most of the world. But there's also the people out there who don't want to do any of the hassle and just want to sit down, relax, and be able to go to Santorini or be able to go to London or New York and just whip out their phone, and that's it. They're done. They're done. It's easy for them. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Here's one of the many community gardens here in Alphabet City. Kay says it's the history I like learning about. Oh yeah, plenty of history. Thomas says, please tell me your plans in the summer. If we reach the goal, I'll be showing you best of Europe. What that might be, I can't tell you right now, because A, I don't plan that far ahead, and B, there's a lot of factors that go into choosing which country to go to that are unpredictable. And it would be a financial risk to plan too far ahead. Mater says, what percent does Facebook and Apple take when sending stars? Both of them take 30%. 30%. If you send it through the app, it might be even more, unfortunately. So if you are using an iPhone and you send stars or super chats through the app, it could be as high as 60% that they take. So yeah, I offer all of them if anyone wants any convenience. Of course, these shows are free for a reason, so I never ask people to contribute. But if people want to sponsor the show, then I give the ability. Patreon is the easiest way to be a super urbanist, and the way I can get most of your contribution. They only take about 9%. And Facebook and YouTube take about 30% or more, 60% if you're using it via iPhone. Aluminum says PayPal and Coin Cash App is only 1% or so maximum. But psst, use friends and family. Friends and family. When I got something in my throat. Catherine says, I no longer have the budget to travel, so I love your videos. I'm glad I can provide some vicarious travel. Carol says, get a snack from Veselka. I already did, previous broadcast. Watch my Veselka broadcast. We're still on the hunt to see if we can see any more remnants of Ukrainian culture here. I think we exhausted most of it. It's only around the area of 8th Street and 2nd Avenue. Carol says, oh, I missed it. No, don't worry. You can watch the replay. 30 minutes long. Mater says, I'll stick with Patreon and PayPal. Oh, yeah, Mater. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mater. I appreciate that. Mater, fellow mega urbanist, along with his wife. Thank you so much for being mega urbanists. BPS, any Ukrainian flags? I did show a lot, but the concentration is mostly around 8th Street and 3rd Avenue, and 2nd Avenue, I mean. So if you want to see the majority of the Ukrainian businesses and churches and museums, that's... Lauren left a... Appreciate you. I was so glad that I was able to visit your native Scotland, and I loved it so much. Susan says, my Patreon year is coming up and I need to decide whether to switch payment amount from it and YouTube. Yeah, no hard feelings. We have a lot of patrons and YouTubers and people who support multiple platforms and do so because they want the badge. No hard feelings. Yes, you do get the badge on YouTube and Facebook, and if you do want the badge, it's there for you. But no hard feelings if you decide to no longer use the badge. That's okay. And rather Patreon. And if you want to cancel anytime, that's okay too. No hard feelings. I have many people who have canceled and still watch. That's okay. Cool. Thank you so much for still to the end. I really appreciate that. So no hard feelings. Choose whatever you must. Here's Bob and his Bobettes. Thomas says, however and wherever you go, we'll stay tuned. Gabizita says, it looks like you're in mid-January. It feels like that. In the morning, it was like 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now, it's about 36, 35 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cold. There's a Ukrainian church in front of McSorley's. Yes, India. Yeah, we saw already the front of that. Thank you so much. Hopefully it opens up at some point so I can stroll in. Zilch says, where are you in New York City? Right now we're in the neighborhood of Alphabet City in New York City. Marianne says, have you been to the Ukrainian National Home? I think we passed it, Marianne, but I couldn't walk in. Oh, I did walk in. I showed the restaurant inside. They had apple strudel. Nice little bookstore, says Raul. Yeah. Let me show you more of it. Beautiful bookstore. Look at that. There's a book called But. I'm sure it's essays about academic studies, of course. Nothing risque in there. Beautiful store. Yeah. Kay says it's going back to cold weather here by Friday. Yep. I was looking at the weather of Ireland. Super, very cold as well. Justine says it's poetry. Yeah, of course. This is poetry. academic dissertations in the magazine called What? Two T's. Oh, cool postcards. Okay, well, of course. All right, there's no side here. Hey, how's it going? Cool postcards you have here.
Thank you.
Good collection.
Need 3 loans. Three loans and I don't know. Oh, wow. It's so hard. Oh, okay. This is a lot easier. There we go. No obstacles. Here it is. Okay, Raynette. Raynette, Mega Urbanist says yes. All right.
think I've heard of this band. I wonder where they're from.
Not too hot. Hard, but not too hot.
Just taking these.
How many?
4. And Mega Million, please. Yeah.
How many dollars?
Just one.
What's going on, bro? Hay frío que hay. Frío lo que hay. Yeah. It's that fucking window.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much. Have a good day. All right. Okay, everyone. So I just got myself a Mega Million. If you see me staying at a 5-star hotel in Paris with views of the Eiffel Tower, and you watch this broadcast, then you'll know. You'll know. I won't mention it ever again, but if you do see that, you'll know. Ariel V, thank you so much for 500 stars. I appreciate that. I got some postcards. You know, the postcards were kind of shitty looking. Beautiful store, all compliments to the owner. It's cool that he has a variety of things. The postcards weren't the most pleasant ones, but I think there's a bit of a charm. And they're pretty expensive because you can get postcards a lot cheaper here in New York City. You can get it as low as 10 cents each. But I think there's a charm because I haven't seen these type of postcards yet. They're very old, either vintage postcards that they used to sell in the 90s or early 2000s. They're very, very old. So let me show it to you. So if you're a mega urbanist, when I'm in New York, if I spend an extended period of time in New York, or if you really love New York and you let me know, you'll get New York postcards. Otherwise, you'll be getting postcards from other places. But I have a reserve just in case I spend time in New York again for a month. Then Mega Urbanist will be getting some of these. Yeah, I think they might be 80s, some of these. They're very old. Justine, nice to see you here. Maureen is a New Yorican, yeah. Oh, we're close to the New Yorican Post Cafe. This is the church I was looking for. Let's see what's in there. Have you done any videos on the Chrysler building? Yep. Well, I haven't gone inside. It's very hard to get permission to go inside. But I have talked about it walking by it, and also from one Vanderbilt as well. Zekeman, nice to see you here. Welcome, Zekeman. Matthias says, what's up? Nice to see you here. Matthias is saying the American lingo. What's up? What's up? Digro says, going to sleep. Thank you so much, Digro, for tuning in. I appreciate you. Erica says, where are you going today? We're going nowhere in particular. Strolling around the East Village / Alphabet City area. We're going to see what was to Little Ukraine. I think we saw most of Little Ukraine, so we're kind of now in Alphabet City. I gotta put this in my backpack right now. So I gotta put this in my backpack and drink a little bit of water. I'll be on my way. What's the human relations between Ukrainians and Russians in New York City? I don't think there's bad blood. Remember, a lot of Russians came here for a reason.
No, I heard.
I assume some of the reasons might have been because life here might have been more compelling than back home. Some of them because, of course, there's more opportunities here. Regardless of the reasons, people have moved here, and many Russians and Ukrainians here are actually many generations American at this point. But yes, there are Russians that have high positions of government or business that are living here. They own very expensive apartments in Billionaires Row, and maybe some very expensive townhouses as well. So that there are Russian oligarchs here in New York City as well. So let me point out the pizzeria here. This is Two Boots Pizza. It's one of the main locations of Dash and Lily, the amazing series on Netflix that lasted for one season about a quirky couple of teenagers falling in love. Really cool romantic comedy. Highly recommended. Dash and Lily. This is one of the main locations, an iconic pizza spot as well. And actually right next to it used to be the UCB club. I'm not sure if UCB is still open here, but UCB has been the comedy club that has birthed a lot of stars in recent history. So some of the top SNL stars came from here. They started their careers here at UCB Theater. I myself here, I've seen people like Reggie Watts here. Mike Birbiglia, I think I saw him here once. Susie says, I binged on Dash and Lily on Christmas. Fun movie. Yep, basically the entire season feels like a nice long movie. Really good. Where's the cafe from Seinfeld? Says Matrix. It's really far. That is in Morningside Heights, which is closer to Columbia University. For perspective, right now we're about 3rd Street right now, and that is located about 116th, 112th Street. So we're about 100 streets away from the Seinfeld restaurant, which is Tom's restaurant. Kathy says, ask Dutch about the Russian oligarch story. Oh yeah, I might. Actually, I have my own Russian oligarch story. Watch my video about haunted Greenwich Village, where I actually went to 12 Gay Street, which is known as the Phantom of Gay Street. And as I was telling that story, all right, before I show you more of this church, as I was telling that story back in Halloween, it was Halloween night, Halloween day. I went there, told this epic story about the Phantom of Gay Street, which is a townhouse that is haunted in Greenwich Village. And I remarked how the townhouse has been empty, or always appears to be weirdly empty, for years. I've told this story for 5 years in a row, and it's always empty. And then one night, as I'm telling this story, I look into the basement, and there's someone in the basement. And of course, I put the camera away and continue on. I find out, someone sends me a link later on, that Rachel Maddow, who's one of the presenters on television for news, covers a story about FBI raid on a townhouse in Greenwich Village. On that same exact night, that same exact day I was telling that story, just a few hours later, that raid happened. And that was 12 Gay Street. And the reason it happened was because the FBI raided the home of a Russian oligarch that is under investigation for aiding in the election of an American president, our latest American president before this one. So yeah, crazy story. So check out that video, Haunted Village, or Haunted New York City tour. It happened last Halloween. I showed a house owned by a Russian oligarch the day it was raided by the FBI. So what is this church? This is Most Holy Redeemer Nativity Church. And it seems to be Iglesia Santísimo de Nato Natividad. So it's a Roman Catholic church. Beautiful church. Also closed. I'm shocked that these Roman Catholic churches are closed. Shocked. Wendy says high entertainment value. Indeed. Indeed. Entertainment value is high. What's your favorite show on Netflix? Says Malaki. I love Dash and Lily. Continue to recommend that. But the most recent one I saw, and this is also directly related to New York, watch Inventing Anna for a crazy New York story. It's about a Russian woman who's an immigrant to Germany from a middle-class background that came over here to New York, pretended to be a German heiress, and fooled some of the top bankers and lawyers to give her millions of dollars in capital. Almost fooled them to give her an entire building on Park Avenue. Crazy story. Inventing Anna. Nope. Bell rings.
Hey, what's up, man?
Here in New York City. Jenna says Mrs. Maisel and Somebody Feud Phil is a great show. Yeah. Matrix saw Coda. Oh, I'm glad. Good movie, but it's not Oscar quality. Yeah. Coda won Best Picture. Curious to see it, but it doesn't strike me as a Oscar movie. Deed says that's a real person. Indeed it is. Yeah, Inventing Anna is based on a real story. A real German-Russian woman who pretended to be an heiress. All right, let's walk around just a little bit more. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns, complaints or grievances, praise or platitudes, proverbs, or moral lessons. Let me know if you have anything to say right now, or forever hold your peace. Wendy says no questions at all. Everything has been ace. I'm glad, Wendy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Is there a song about your next travel adventure? I'm trying. Dean is asking, is there any song for my next adventure? You know, sometimes it's very hard to find that one pearl to jam to in a huge sea of wonderful music. Oh, stay tuned. Wendy, thank you so much for tuning in. Trustee says, guys, it mentions the slap on the academy. It's very, very sad that the Oscars. Very, very sad. It sucks. There's no excuse. DS, I think is misreading my comments. I was just speaking metaphorically. Oh, Wendy says, I haven't gone. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in with it. Ethan says, did I watch the Oscars? No, I did not watch the Oscars, but I did watch the slap that shook the world. Mater says, who wants to prove a bridge is safe? Just use elephants. Mater is referring to my latest video. Well, not latest. I actually made that video 2 years ago, but I'm posting older TikTok videos on YouTube. So be sure to watch my YouTube shorts. DS says, what are you looking forward to most this year? Travel? More. I can't get enough of traveling. So yeah, traveling. That's what I'm looking forward to. Let's check out down there. Justine says, oh my god, that's so cool. Steam, yeah. Steam on this stream. Yeah, there's a lot of steam here. Sinaya says, what time is it? I think it's about 5 p.m. I've lost track of time. Oh, it's a record store. 6 p.m. Thank you so much, Dave, Marianne, and Robert. Ooh, Quincy Jones. Oh, this is a good pearl. Look at that. Oh, Boston. I wonder how Boston looks like in this time of the year. Oh my God, Sylvester. Oh wow. Oh, this is cool. I've been listening to this disco record on repeat. It's so cool that they have it. Wow, it costs $40. Is it rare? This is a great disco band, Sylvester. Wow, $40. Wow, pretty expensive. I guess they put it expensive because people DJs might be using this. T-Wash says, where do I live? New York City. New York, great city. One of my favorite songs of the Beatles is in this record, Norwegian Wood. That's a cool record collection here. I like it. Wow, awesome. What tapes do they have? Oh, this is a mixtape. Look at that. Oh, someone made a personal mixtape. December 1983. Dance It Out More. It has reggae, Jamaica Girls. I don't recognize these bands. Heartbeat. Oh wow, private mixtape. That's so cool. Kenny G, ladies and gentlemen. Q Kenny G. I'm breathless. Ooh, Chet Baker. Great jazzist. Good morning, Vietnam. And we have another mixtape over here. Sunset Concerts. Ah, look at that. I think London is calling. Oh, fuck. Okay. Can't show that on camera. That's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. So fun fact, I used to make mixtapes, but digital ones. I was fairly popular on a music service called 8 Tracks. 8 Tracks. I think that it's no longer up. It might still be, I'm not 100% sure, but 8 Tracks. I used to make a playlist there because I had a music blog, and they were pretty popular. People used to listen to them back in the day. So yeah, I used to be a mixtape maker, and then I used to make mixtapes for parties that I would co-host with my friends. So yeah, it was kind of a big deal. I think Boston needs another tea party, says Raina. Indeed. Interesting balconies here. Look at that. Dia says, if there was a concert you can go to of someone who passed away, who would it be? Bowie, Queen, someone else? Ah, that's a good question. That is a very good question. DS, that's an excellent question. I gotta think about that. David Bowie would be amazing to see live. Aluminum says, it was so fun to catch you live. Just watch you on replay. Thank you for doing this with us. My pleasure. Susie says, John Lennon or Michael Jackson for me. Yeah, so let us know if you can go back in time to see any musician that has currently passed. Who would it be? Who would you see? Zeekman says, mine would be Bob Marley. Bob Marley, yeah, that's another great. I had one in mind. Oh yeah, if I could see Pink Floyd play Dark Side of the Moon. Ooh. Oh yeah, that would be amazing. Like the full band. I know some of them are alive. I did see Roger Waters live, but if I could see the original band, that would be so cool. Another one would be Beach Boys. Specifically when they were touring with Pet Sounds. I'm not sure if they even toured with Pet Sounds. It's one of the greatest albums ever made. Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. And a lot of the great Salcedo. So it would be so cool to see a Gran Combo. El Gran Combo. If you want to pronounce it more English. But yes, that is one of the best salsa groups. Well, basically the first salsa group to take over the airwaves. Joanne says, I have seen Elvis in person, but would love to see John Lennon. Wow, it's so cool that you saw Elvis in person. Was it in his jumpsuit stage, or was it when he was younger and shaking his hips? The Bean right here used to be my main study spot. I have a fondness for it. Used to always grab a vanilla chai latte, dirty, which means with espresso, iced, and drink it in the afternoons after getting out of college classes and study there until night, because it was one of the few coffee shops that was open until like 11 p.m. And I would study there for hours, burrowed in my books. At the Bean. Justine says the Bean looks so cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful cafe. It's a very old style cafe. Has that kind of old school flavor to it. All right, let me see if I can go in. Let's finish off with a chai latte if they have coconut milk, which I'm not too optimistic. Let's see if they do. All right, bear with me. I am so happy right now. Sorry, no. That was an odd question. The guy asked me if you don't happen to be diabetic. That's an odd question. Wonder why he asked that. Okay, everyone, I am really happy at this very moment in time. I'm gonna put the phone over here. You know why? Because unfortunately with oat milk nowadays here in the US, A, they're using very bad quality oats, and B, they use sunflower oil and sometimes canola oil or vegetable oils, and those are inflammatory. So oat milk, it used to be good until they started changing the recipes when they started getting too popular. Same thing applies to soy milk, and same thing applies to almond milk. Almond milk, for example, barely has almonds. DS says he's selling insulin. Maybe off the street insulin. So when I go to coffee shops and I want a drink that has milk in it, I always go for coconut milk. Because it's the one that kind of goes down the smoothest. Coconut milk is still made out of coconuts. At least most of it. Unlike other types of milks. And this place has coconut milk. And I'm so happy. They used to have coconut milk, but coconut milk, people barely order it, so a lot of coffee shops have been phasing them out. And they're basically oat milk nowadays here in New York, and also applies to London. So I'm happy whenever I see a coffee shop that has some coconut milk, so I can have either a chai latte or a turmeric latte with coconut milk. I don't drink really coffee with milk, so. And then inside the cafe, it looks exactly how it did when I was in college. It hasn't changed one bit, and there's live music inside, but they're still playing popular music, so it seems like it's gonna happen in about 20 or 30 minutes or so. So it's so cool. So this is the drink I used to get all the time, and it's gonna bring back memories. This is a iced vanilla chai latte with coconut milk. Oh my god. Wow, that's amazing. It's sweet. I haven't had a sugary drink in a while, but it brings back all the memories. I studied electrical engineering, so it was very study intensive. And despite at that time me living very far away from this neighborhood, I was in City College. I was still venturing all the way out here in order to study at this favorite cafe of mine and have this favorite drink of mine. Wow, I forgot how sugary this was. Wow, I used to drink a lot of sugar because they use like a vanilla chai powder, which is very sugary. That's so good. Wow, I really missed that. Do many cafes have their own plant-based milks? So almost every cafe has alternative milks, but the majority of the milks nowadays is oats and almond. Great question, Justine. Oats and almond is what you'll find most places. As I mentioned, especially if you're sensitive or you're very, very adamant in having the healthiest things like I am, I don't like drinking oat milk anymore because of its inflammatory nature. I no longer drink it. Unless if it's good pure oat milk, which you really don't find anymore. You have to go to a specialty store and buy it there, or go to a different country like the UK. So I only go for coconut milk. But nowadays, pistachio milk is now starting to become prolific, and macadamia milk. I don't know the ingredients of those yet. Melody says the look of your face is priceless. Amanda says, will you pursue grad school? Amanda, hell no. I haven't even used my electrical engineering degree, so hell no. I would not be pursuing grad school. No intentions whatsoever in ever doing any more college. My recommendation, if you want to do what I do, if you want to be a filmmaker, entertainer, or a videographer, college isn't really necessary. I did not take not one class in film. I learned all my filmmaking and all my entertainment skills and all my social media skills on my own, completely on my own. And I worked in social media, so I learned social media through working. That was a quick round no, says Mario. I'm old school. I love my cow's milk, says Dory. I like cow's milk. I don't like cow's milk actually, but I would drink it in Europe. I don't drink it here. Though I do like goat's milk, though you won't find goat's milk anywhere. Hey, Wendy says, I love coconut milk as well. Oh, so glad you do. Love will keep us together and hydrate, says Morgan. Indeed it does. Yes, macadamia milk is very nice. I like the taste of it. I've had good experiences with macadamia milk. especially if it's homemade. There's a few places here that make it homemade. Matcha Full is a, and sorry I keep looking around here. Here in this area, there's one street here, a homeless shelter. A lot of homeless people do hang out, and not all of them are mentally stable. So unfortunately, this specific block, there's a little bit more than usual. But generally, this neighborhood is very safe. You can get goat's milk here, says Kay. Oh, yeah, I remember being interested in Ireland, seeing there were a few places with goat's milk. Miss Lob says it's probably very pricey. In the US, probably. It's probably not so pricey in Europe. Lynn says nut milk is basically emulsifiers with water with emulsifiers, says Lynn. Yeah. As indeed the case. What part of the filming? Great question, DS. Obviously here on Urbanist, I enjoy being behind the camera and in front of the camera, quite literally. I enjoy, in terms of filmmaking, I enjoy directing the most. That's basically my experience, is directing, writing, and editing. I've written, directed, and edited one short film, and I've directed and edited multiple dance short films thus far. And then I've directed and edited and written 2 documentaries. Wendy says, when are you going live next? April, the entire month of April, Thursdays through Sundays, 4 days a week at 4 p.m. New York City time. Every single Thursdays through Sundays, wherever I am, regardless of the city I cover, which stay tuned. Hints were dropped this stream. In the last stream, another hint was dropped. Hints are being dropped as to where I'm going. So pay attention, pay very close attention. In PR, you could get fresh goat's milk, says Mario. Really? Puerto Rico? Oh, didn't know. From some farmers. Wendy says, Kubrick, you are. I know it. Kubrick is definitely a film hero. Miss Lop says, oh, I missed the hint. Well, yeah. I think there's people out there. I know people out there are very astute. Some people have been very astute. What part did you have in the making of your soundtracks? Asked Dia. So if people don't know, I have 4 original soundtracks. The song you just listened to, Coffee Break, is part of those 4 albums that I made. I was the producer of those albums. Producer here nowadays means different things. Producer means, in certain cases, it means someone who actually composes it, and that's mostly for the hip-hop world and the pop world, but I'm a producer in the classical sense. So I did not compose the music, but I did work with musicians directly in the composition phase, the production phase, and of course finishing everything up. So from inception to production, I worked every step of the way. So I was a producer in that sense. Producer in the sense of like George Martin with the Beatles. George Martin was the producer, right? Yeah. Or was it Epstein? I think it was George Martin. Clive Barker is the producer of Santana. And so, in that sense. What was your best sci-fi film last year? I think Dune was the best sci-fi film of last year. I like Spider-Man No Way Home as well. All right, everyone. Love your albums. Ooh, live music is starting. Cool. I wonder what type of music they're going to play. I think it's just a singer-songwriter. So if you enjoy these live videos, I have awesome bonus videos up. If you're a super urbanist and enjoy my bonus videos, let us know right now in the comments. I have the Museum of Moving Image, an hour tour. I have a tour of one of the coolest house museums you'll ever see in London called Dennis Evers House. A full in-depth tour with official tour guides at the Churchill War Rooms. I also have inside access to the Explorers Club, which is one of the most exclusive and influential clubs here in New York City, and a lot of cool things. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and also patrons will be getting insights to why I pick cities that I cover and how pro tips on how to plan your travels. Patreon.com/urbanist. Smee says, you're so handsomely talented and creative. Thank you so much, Smee. I appreciate that. Kay says, I love the supporter videos. Lynn says, hang in there, Wendy. It'll be okay. Wendy, yes, I'll be back. I'll be back. Friday at 4 p.m. New York City time, and then later on at 7 p.m. New York City time for the philosophical chat. See you then, everyone. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. My helicopter is now on the way. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. All right, I'm gonna catch my helicopter. All right, I'm over here. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.